there's one question that I've been struggling with. So it's been 20 episodes now, and I've been, going back to the Gita again and again, going back to whatever it is that I have written, spoken about. But I am, at this point, confused about how do I proceed from here, right? So I obviously do not understand the Gita, in its entirety. I'm just beginning to even make some sense of it. But I come from a very rational, scientific kind of an understanding that मेरे को कुछ समझा नहीं तो मैं करूँगा नहीं, right? समझूंगा तो ही करूँगा.
Right.
But where I'm stuck now is that I still don't get most of what the Gita is trying to say.
Right.
So one way is I sit down and say, let me think about this.
Okay.
Until I've figured this out, I'm not moving forward.
Right.
But the more I try and do that, it is so esoteric, it is so profound that I'm out of my depth. And when I say speak to you or Sheetal or others, what I realize is sometimes you have to just keep going with it, and at some point, समझ आ जाएगा. So I'm like, should I just keep going or should I wait and maybe get a breakthrough, understand it and then move? So I'm kind of आगे बढ़ते रहूं, ऐसे ही ritualistic हो जाएगा या फिर मैं यहीं रुक जाऊं and समझता रहूं, बात करता रहूं, सोचता रहूं, लोगों से करने के बाद, okay, now I've understood it, now I'll move forward. So how do I not get ritualistic? At the same time, how do I get unstuck?
I feel whatever I know about you, bhai, because again, we've been connected for all these years. I don't think you have, you'll ever encounter that risk of getting ritualistic, because as you just mentioned, you have that rational mind. I know you will not get ritualistic. And also, I think we just have to remember why we started. See, आपने एक particular interpretation निकालने का प्रयास किया है भगवद गीता से, giving all due respect to the scripture, to the resource, to the devotees, to the people who treat it as, and we are also treating it with a lot of reverence and as a divine word of God. You began कि मुझे अपना कुछ जो मैं creative inspiration इससे ले सकता हूँ, I try and present it to people and then open it to interpretation. Okay, you see what you can derive from it. So remembering that why we started. That is one thing which I always feel is very very important कि किस लिए मेरे कुछ सवाल थे, मेरी कुछ चीज़ें, मैं इसको as I wanted to use it as an inspiration for my creativity.
Right.
Thinking of that, अगर वो creativity में आप बहुत अच्छे से जानते, you've written books, you even teach people writing, you've taught me how to write poems and so on and so forth. So, there are sometimes we just get that creative block, right? It just happens. It happens with, even the most accomplished people. So maybe it can be like that. Maybe it is not, because, and when we talk about Gita, samajhna, na samajhna, I feel even the people who claim and who come and who start speaking on the Gita, this is my humble again, not trying to, point anything negative about somebody, but even the people, and I've also been through that stage where I felt I know the Gita, where people have humbled me. No, bro, you don't know. And then life has humbled me, and Krishna, the universe has humbled me, bro, you don't know. So even the people who who have been reading the scripture for years and years and decades, even they cannot totally claim to understand it. My personal experience with reading the Gita has been, जितना मैं पढ़ता हूँ मुझे कुछ ना कुछ नया मिल जाता है. Maybe not always जो exactly मैं सीख कर रहा होता हूँ, पर कई बार कुछ ऐसी चीज़ मिल जाती है, जैसे लोग कहते हैं ना कि मुझे ऐसे सवालों के जवाब मिल जाते हैं जो मुझे पता भी नहीं था मैं सवालों को ढूंढ रहा था. Was I even seeking this? Wow, okay, this is also new. Because what I did, a mistake which I did, bhai, I didn't. So I was treating it कि okay, I've now read the Gita a few times. I know it. I know a few shlokas. I've rectified a few shlokas. हाँ ये मैं ये बोलता हूँ. श्लोक number this, श्लोक number that. Okay, good, not bad. But I feel your process is better. You're trying to understand and interpret and try to apply it in your own life journey, because every human's life journey is different. So, but we should not stop reading it. Why? Because I have realized in all these 16, 17 years since I've been connected to the Bhagavad Gita, पढ़ते रहोगे कुछ ना कुछ मिलता रहता है. और आपको लगे यार ये तो सेक्शन मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं था, ये तो जो एक बार में नहीं समझ में आया. आई एम टेलिंग यू देयर इज दिस 13 चैप्टर व्हिच आई हैव रेड. इट्स बीन 16-17 years. अब जाके समटाइम्स व्हेन आई रीड एंड लाइक, अरे अब चमका, अरे ये तो genuinely there were times where it just completely went over my mind. And now I was reading the 18th chapter and I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write, हाँ, oh wow, he's talking about the 3 modes of nature. हाँ, कर्म ऐसा होता है, components of action ये होते हैं. हाँ यार, ये तो बड़ी सही बात है. तो right now, it's not that I'm looking for a particular thing. I'm not looking to pass my exams or a solace or anything. But I'm just trying to use it कि यार बड़ी अच्छी बात है, बहुत deep बात है, कुछ फिर पढ़ते हैं. क्योंकि इतने diverse बातें कर रहे हैं कृष्णा उसमें. तो अपने को बार बार हम पढ़ेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा. सो जैसे भाई मे बी दिस इज व्हाट कैन बेनिफिट मे बी आवर व्यूअर्स, मे बी यू एज वेल. मुझे तो बहुत मदद किया. आई लव स्टोरीज एंड आई थिंक एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग लव स्टोरीज.
Absolutely.
राइट, वी ऑल, देयर इज नो ह्यूमन बीइंग इन द वर्ल्ड, सी ऑल द लिटरेचर इन द वर्ल्ड, एवरीथिंग, इट इज enchanted people since time immemorial. For me personally also, my biggest source of connection with our culture, with, you know, I don't want to really use the word religion because sometimes I feel it is so, you know, it is so abused these days, but religion कह लीजिए, culture कह लीजिए, spirituality कह लीजिए, my personal connection has been through stories. तो जब मैं थोड़ा stuck feel करता हूँ, sometimes, see, when we talk about, so Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. So Mahabharata was written with this intention. The author Vedavyas, he wrote the book with the intention कि जो लोग हैं, आम लोग हैं, हम जैसे लोग हैं, जिनके पास इतना टाइम नहीं है, एनर्जी नहीं है, एफर्ट्स नहीं करेंगे टू ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड द वेदास, उनके लिए मैं उसकी इंटरप्रिटेशन, आई राइट इट इन अ स्टोरी फॉर्म. Story se they'll be able to connect. They'll be able to connect this because we see all those things happening around us.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
So that really helps. Ki kai bar when we are feeling stuck with these texts, with the philosophy, we go back to the stories, because through the stories sometimes the philosophies can be brought out really wonderfully well.
Okay.
So I feel that is also another way. I don't know how much relatable it may be for you, but this I've tried.
It makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.